Information is probably one of the most dangerous and most powerful weapons that we have today. Everybody understands that between the medias and the social medias, one's life can change. From the best to the worst, from the worst to the best. And that power is real. It's not just real, it is something that we respect as Jews, as observant Jews, who really are obligated to learn Torah. Torah is all about knowledge. Chokhmah, Binah, Da'at. These concepts are the ones that we are trained from a very young age. The Jewish people was always knowledgeable. We always knew how to read, how to write. We respect, we adore knowledge. It is just part of who we are. And yet, we can't forget that the first original sin, the one that we pay for until today, the one that our ancestors, ourselves, Adam and Hava sin, is the fact that they ate from the Etz Hadat. They ate from the tree of knowledge. And the question is obvious. Every year we are reading that they were punished by death for themselves and for the rest of humanity for the fact that they ate from that tree. What was so bad? What is really the sin? Why did HaKadosh Baruch Hu ask them to not touch it, to not eat from it? So before I answer that question, I would like to also analyze the context, because what exactly happened there is revealing the nature of that sin. You see, the Nahash, this famous animal, the animal known as the Ba'al Halashon, the one who knows how to use his tongue, which is a very important element. The Nahash actually pushed Hava to eat from that tree. And what did he use? What was the weapon that he used? Well, that's the other side of information. The power that he used was confusion. He pushed Hava, who said that HaKadosh Baruch Hu asked to not touch from the tree. So he pushed her against the tree and he said, you see, Midrash says that he made her realize that there was nothing bad to touch the tree, so if there is nothing bad to touch the tree, you can probably eat from it. And by the way, probably God has an agenda. Here is the word we hear a lot today. God has an agenda. He's biased. He doesn't want you to become like him. What the Nahash did was to feed Hava false information. And the sin of Adam Arishon and Hava eating from that tree, from the Etz Hadat, was exactly the same thing. Etz Hadat, Tov Vara. We forget the rest of the pasuk. This was not just the tree of knowledge. This was the tree of knowledge of good and bad. Because knowledge, my friends, is a very complex concept. Knowledge is brute, is not cultivated. And when the filters are not set the right way, knowledge can be the most evil entity in the world. Knowledge can be death. And that's why they deserve death. That's why knowledge was the first sin of humanity. And I don't think that there are better times than today than to have the same feeling. I think the worst part of the pandemic, social crisis and everything else is the fact that we are confused. We are profoundly confused because we, the people, don't know who to trust, don't know who to listen. Is this a conspiracy theory, or is it fake news? Is it legitimate, or is it just abuse of power? We just don't know who to trust. And we must say that our leaders are bearing responsibilities between politicians, scientists, and everybody else who has a job to do by guiding the people. We need to bring light. We need to bring knowledge that is pure, that is good, that is right. So what is the solution? That sin repeats itself over and over and has reached a point today that it's made our life miserable. The policies of the shul. Do we listen or don't we listen to the government guidelines? Our schools. Should they be open? Shouldn't it be open? How are the students supposed to be inside the classroom? Great questions. Are we supposed to visit our family and friends? Our parents? Is it okay? The distance? Inside? Outside? Masks? No mask? We believe, we don't believe. This whole confusion is absolutely terrible. This is what the Nahash did. And this was the danger of Etz Hadat. So what's the solution for that? And I think that once again, our Parashat Bereishit, that relates to this problem, also brings the solution. And as Hachamim teach us, HaKadosh Baruch Hu always makdim refu'ah lamaka, brings the medicine, the remedy before the hit, before the sickness, and before the creation of Adam, before the mission that Adam was given. The Torah decided to tell us about the creation of the world. Something that technically has nothing to do with us because we were not there. Adam was not created yet. And everyone asked that question. What is the point? Why do we talk about Maaseh Bereishit? Why do we talk about the creation of the world? There's no commandment. There is no relevance. And the answer is because that's the solution for the Etz Hadat. That is the solution for the sin of Adam and Hava. That is the solution for the crisis that we live in today. The solution is Bereishit bara Elohim et hashamayim ve'et haaretz. And the Torah is going to talk about the 6 days of creation with Shabbat. And each and every paragraph is going to describe how Borei Olam HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the creator, is in control, he is in charge, and he is still there. Something that we tend to forget these days. We don't know which doctor to ask the question. We don't know which politician we should trust. We don't know which friends to stay close to. We forget one thing. There is a captain to the ship called the world. Bereishit bara Elohim et hashamayim ve'et haaretz. He is still in charge. He is still here. And it's time to go to the basics. When you get confused, when you don't know anymore, go back to the basics. Go back to the simple things of life. Go back to the fact that the world is not a place where you're supposed to be depressed, alcoholic, and confused. These are the facts. Bereishit bara Elohim et hashamayim ve'et haaretz. Hashem is in charge. Can you feel yourself with that joy? Can you feel yourself with that faith and that trust in Him? Because once we have that, a lot of questions are going to be answered. A lot of questions are not even going to take place. And by the way, all that in the first words. Bereishit comes from the word Rosh. Rosh is the head. Because in the Torah, the head is on top. The head is not just the beginning. The head is where the neshama is. The head is where HaKadosh Baruch Hu has His divine presence in each and every one of us. Vayipach be'apav nishmat hayim. Where is that neshama that God gave Adam HaRishon? In the head. It's called common sense. And we see right and left how people love to be extreme. To be an extremist is never the right call. To be too much on this side or too much on that side is not the right call. Common sense. The Rosh is going to tell you, Bereishit bara Elohim, that Hashem is in charge. And then you can come down. And then you can relax and you can breathe and you can lift up your eyes and say, God, I know you're in charge. And you won't be confused. You won't be Etz Hadat Tov Vara anymore. You will be Etz Hadat Tov. This is why you respect the Torah. The Torah has that light. The Torah has that knowledge. Let's all remember that. Be proud of it. And remove all our spekot to bring true joy, true simcha in our life. Shabbat Shalom.